Namaste and good morning. Today we dwell into the critical relationship that has the potential to reshape the global trade dynamics. The ongoing trade negotiation between the United States and India. Recent weeks have we have seen a noticeable uptick in diplomatic activity with high-level officials from both nations engaging in intensive discussions. The question on everybody's mind is: will this renewed momentum finally culminate into a comprehensive trade agreement? For years, the prospect of significant trade deals between world's largest and most vibrant democracies have been tantalizingly close yet elusive. The economic benefit for both sides are immense. For the US, India representatives a massive, rapid growing market of over 1.4 billion consumers, offering an opportunity for American businesses across various sectors and technology and agriculture to manufacturing and services. So India, on the other hand, seeks greater access to sophisticated US market, hoping to boost its export, attract foreign investment, and further integrate its global supply chain. Key areas of interest for India includes enhanced market access for its agriculture and different products, pharmaceutical, textiles, and technology services. But the path to trade deal is rarely smooth. Deep-seated differences in economic policies, regulatory framework, and market access barriers have historically stalled the progress. To understand the current state of affairs and the key sticking points, we go further and analyze these. The atmosphere in Delhi is one of the cautious optimism. There is a palpable sense of urgency to capitalize on the current geopolitical climate and strong bilateral relationship between Prime Minister Modi and Vice President JD Vance. Recent visit by US trade representatives and commerce secretaries have been met with reciprocal engagement from Indian side. However, several thorny issues remains on the table. India's agriculture subsidies and tariff on certain goods, particularly dairy and poultry, have long been a point of contention for the US. Similarly, American concerns regarding intellectual property rights, data localization policies, and market access for medical devices continues to be a debate. The potential is substantial for US, uh, and beyond the market access, a strong trade partnership with India can provide a crucial alternative in global supply chain, reducing reliance on other regions. It can also foster the greater innovation through collaboration and technology transfer. For India, increased export can boost manufacturing, create jobs, and accelerate economic growth. Moreover, enhanced foreign and direct investment spurred by trade deals can bring a much needed capital and expertise. We could significantly, see a growth in sectors like renewable energy, digital services, and advanced manufacturing on both sides. For technology sector, clarity and predictability in regulations are paramount. We are hoping for greater ease of data flow, reduced barriers to digital trade, and stronger intellectual property protection. India is a critical market and a hub for talent, and a comprehensive trade deal could streamline operations, encouraging further investments in research and development, and facilitate the introduction of innovative products and services to wider audience. Issues around localization requirements and tariffs on the technology components need to be addressed to unlock the full potential. Agriculture is always a sensitive sector in trade negotiations, and the US India context is no different. US has been pushing for greater access for its agriculture products, citing fair competition. However, India has legitimate concern about the impact on its domestic farmers, more many of whom are smallholders. Issues like sanitary and phytosanitary standards, tariff levels, and domestic support programs need careful negotiations to find mutually acceptable solution. India might be willing to offer some concessions, but it will likely be a gradual process with safeguards for its agriculture sector. From the perspective of innovation driven industry, strong and predictable intellectual property rights are crucial for protecting investments in research and development. Concerns have been raised about patent enforcement and potential for IP infringement in India. Data localization is another complex issue. While India has its own data security and sovereignty concerns, overall stringent localization requirement can create significant operational challenge for multinational companies. Finding a balance that addresses both data protection and ease of doing business is the key. Beyond agriculture and IP and data, other areas of discussion includes tariffs on specific industrial goods, market access for financial services, and government procurement policies. Both sides will need to show flexibility and willingness to compromise to bridge these gaps. The geopolitical context also plays a significant role in these trade talks. With evolving global dynamics, both US and India have strategic interest in strengthening their economic partnership. The current global scenario, marked by supply chain vulnerabilities and a desire for diversification, create a strong impetus for the US and India to forge a closer tie. Both nations see each other as key partners in promoting a stable and rule based international order. A robust trade agreement would not only have the economic benefit but also strengthen their strategic alignment and send a powerful signal to the rest of the world. These geopolitical alignment might provide necessary political will to overcome some of the traditional sticking points. There definitely seems to be a renewed sense of urgency and more pragmatic approach in the recent discussions. High level engagements have been more frequent and focused. There appears to be a recognition on both sides that long term benefit of a strong trade relationship outweigh some of the short term sensitivities. However, translating this positive momentum into a concrete agreement will still require significant effort and political will on both sides. Businesses are hopeful but also realistic about complexities involved. While there is increased optimism, predicting a firm timeline is still a challenging issue. Given the complexity involved, a comprehensive, all encompassing trade deal might still be some time away, perhaps 12 to 18 months away. If all goes well, then we can look at sign up of a trade deal between US and India. A more likely near term scenario could be a phased approach with an early harvest agreement focusing on areas where consensus can be reached more easily, followed by more comprehensive negotiations. Several potential outcomes are possible. We could see a broad agreement that significantly reduces tariffs and non tariff barriers across many sectors. Alternatively, the talks could stall again due to persistent disagreement on the key issues. A middle ground might involve a limited trade pact addressing specific sectors for mutual interest. The upcoming month will be crucial in determining the trajectory of these negotiations. I believe the chance for a significant trade deal have improved due to confluence of economic and geopolitical factors. However, both sides must be prepared to make difficult compromises. The impact of a comprehensive agreement would be transformative, fostering greater economic integration, boosting growth, and strengthening the strategic partnership between the two world most important economies. For the business community perspective, we are cautiously optimistic. A well crafted trade deal has the potential to unlock significant opportunities for both for growth and innovation in both US and India. It is crucial that the agreement is ambitious yet balanced, addressing the key concerns of both sides to create a true win win scenario. The stakes are high, and the world would be watching closely as the US and India navigate these complex trade negotiations. Whether current heat will indeed lead to substantial deal remains to be seen, but the potential rewards are undeniable. What do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe our channel for more in-depth analysis of the global economic trends. And thanks for watching, friends. I will catch you very soon in the next one.